Welcome back to Tip of the Spear, where we talk about all things Wetumpka athletics. I'm your host, Chandler Ward, and with me today is my co-host, Deacon Meeks. Kicking the week off hot, let's take a look at your First Community Bank's Player of the Week, and that's going to go to varsity softball star Sophie Arendt. Arendt, who has shown out in her past 8 games, has tallied up a batting average of .429, 4 doubles, 14 RBIs, 9 total runs, and a home run to seal the deal. Now, despite Sophie Arendt only being a freshman, she's shown a lot of potential and a lot of room for growth throughout the rest of her seasons.
Indeed she does, Chandler, and Coach Otwell definitely sees that, wanting to keep on to her for the years to come for Wetumpka Indians softball. Now, moving over to the baseball team, sitting at a 13-6 record, they've had a dominant season so far. However, losing to Trinity last night, they will surely overcome it as they have overcame the many obstacles and challenges throughout the season. Moving on to another Wetumpka Indians sport is the varsity dance team. So for your 2026 to 2027 varsity dance team, it consists of Story Willis, Ansley Rogers, Taylor Messer, Shiloh Hunter, Emily Kate Goggins, Carly Forbes, Rachel Dindy, McKenna Burton, Stacy Brazil. And for your captains, Mary Ellis Baker, Addison Sanford, and McKenna Blakely.
Yeah, absolutely, Deacon. Huge congratulations to that dance team, and I know a lot of them are a little sad, with the seniors from this year headed out and all these upcoming seniors. It's a little bittersweet, but apart from dance and baseball and softball, I'd like to take a look at varsity soccer, women's soccer to start, and let's go ahead and look at how well they are as a defensive team. They really just set the stage for defense. That is the name of their game. Now, with their defense, that's going to consist of 2 players in particular, and that's Eva Gallender and Lindsay Davis. Both just set the stage for everything that this team does, with Lindsay's ability to steal the ball and hit it up to midfield and give the midfielders a chance, and Eva's divine speed. They really just know how to do this.
Yeah, no doubt. Having Lindsay Davis as a freshman being on your team with her brother Nick Davis being on the varsity team as well, amazing defensive players, each of them, but a little critiquing needs to be done specifically on the offensive side. Like you mentioned, very good defensive team, but however, if those ties were more offensively played, if there was better offensive game from the Wetumpka Indians, more midfield action, more communication to occur more for this Wetumpka Indians team, then it's bound to happen. They're going to win more games.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, an 8-3-1 record, that's not even bad. With 1 tie, it kind of sucks when you have a neutral game like that, but for a positive record, you can't complain. Now, as you were saying with that stuff they could work on, like you were saying with the midfield, when you don't use that communication, you're bound to lose possession of the ball. If you're not talking to your teammate, you lose possession, and then you force your defenders to have to fight back some more. So you don't want to exhaust the rest of your team. You want to get the ball up top or just to midfield so you can play it out.
Yeah, and moving on to the boys soccer team, they're a great starting team at 8-4-5. They've shown amazing resilience when down, and when it comes to defense, they have great dominance with Hugo Gonzalez, key factor, along with Nick Davis, as previously mentioned. Great backfield to protect their goal and to kick the ball away whenever needed.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely defend very well, like you said, with Hugo Gonzalez as goalie. They defend well against set pieces, those free kicks. He definitely knows what he's doing, and I cannot wait to see what he has left in store for the rest of the season. But speaking of set pieces, that's one thing that they may need to work on when it comes to offense. Both boys and girls stray a little bit away from that offensive game. Now, while they both are a very good team, they both kind of just see the defense as a more important part, which with pretty much every single sport at Wetumpka, defense is a key factor. But you have to take into consideration that offense is also important. When you're getting those free kicks or those corner kicks, you have to be able to get the ball either in the goal or to your teammate, because on free kicks, it's just you and the goalie. But on corner kicks, you either get a chance at the goal or a chance at your teammate.
Yeah, and having your teammates capitalize is another major thing that needs to occur. Communication, another thing. Both the boys and girls teams seem to have these similar issues. Both newer teams constantly getting foreign exchange students to help out their team. There's a bit of a barrier, some would say, with those players coming in, very new. Cyrus Bullock being a new player added to the varsity team. He's obviously going to have to get integrated, but it's bound to happen. Defense does win championships, but if you want to stay in the game and not just get tied like 5 times for the boys, then you need some offense on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you speak of new teams, I'd like to take a look at the tennis team. Now, the girls team, an outstanding team with players like Langley Neighbors and Grayson Morgan. They really know what they are doing. You know, both actually newer players with the boys as well. The boys team made up of a whole new roster. But like I was saying with Grayson Morgan and Langley Neighbors, they both set the stage for communication and just how they play in general. They definitely create a positive atmosphere and just help relay stuff to their teammates. So huge props to them.
Yeah, it's not just them either. It's the whole girls team. They have each other's back. They're always sharing blankets out there whenever I go to the tennis games. They're communicating with each other, cheering each other on. Mary Ellis Baker was in a very intense match. Everybody cheered for her. She won the match against Pelham. But it's just chemistry, all in all. That's what defines a team as a team. And for the boys team, sitting at a very neutral record still, John Neighbors, Mark Kaysen Evans, along with Henry Krish, they're a new team, and they have to come together and just learn each other more.
Yeah, and I gotta say, even though a new team and neutral record, like you said, 7-7, that is impressive for a new team. You know, like when you have foreign exchange student Henry Krisk and John Neighbors, Mark Kaysen Evans, all these players that have not played tennis before, it's impressive to have a neutral record. They lost last night against Helena, correct me if I'm wrong, and they were 7-6 before that. So that's not a bad record for a very new team. Now, back over to the girls, one thing I would say they could probably work on, which doesn't even involve like the season right now, is their postseason work. With consistency at practice, like maybe you shouldn't skip practice. I know everybody wants to sleep in over the summer, but maybe go to that practice, get your game up, because in the end, it's going to affect you for the rest of your seasons.
Yes, and that's for any sport. Going to the camps and practices increases your game more and makes you a better player. And if you invite your teammates, if you go with your teammates, it builds more chemistry as well.
It really does, Deacon. Now, another team that we've already kind of spoke on earlier is going to be softball. Now, softball is a dominant force this season, to say the least. Now, they have so many young, talented players, and despite having a lot of seniors, they definitely have those talented players to make up for it. Now, when all these seniors graduate this year, like I said for dance, it's going to be a sad sight. But with the talent they have, I am adamant that they are going to continue to work hard. Now, one thing I would like to note is that this year's team is giving me a little bit of deja vu from the 2022-23 softball team. That softball team had a 56-6-1 record, ranked number 1 in 6A class in Alabama, and were state champions, beating Athens 2-1 in the state championship in an 8th-inning overtime. That's impressive, and I really hope to see that out of this softball team this year.
Yes, they have completely full potential. It might not even be this year, it might be next year. But with the lower classmen actually helping the upperclassmen, filling in for them and filling the gaps for this Wetumpka softball team, in Sophie Arendt, the first Community Bank Player of the Week this week, and Lexi Smith and Layla Culpepper, and many names that you've heard before on the Wetumpka Sports Network and various other places. It's bound to happen. Like you said, they're definitely going to be another championship star team. Yeah,
absolutely, Deacon. You know, you've got people like Taylor Carlisle. She definitely knows what she's doing, and she helps out with this team a lot. Her older sister, senior Bailey Carlisle, definitely has given her some wise advice, maybe just some help out in general. And you've even got 8th graders playing on this team. So like we've kept saying over and over with the young talent, I am just impressed by this softball team. But besides softball, let's take a look at baseball once again. And this team, they really aren't even that bad. A 13-6 record, only 19 games played in total. That's not really that bad of a record. Positive record means a positive attitude. And you've got players that bring that positive attitude, like Peyton Dickey, Logan Fawcett, Kyle Richardson, and you've got previous First Community Bank Player of the Week, Asher Nobles, that helps out with that as well.
Yeah, the baseball team has amazing chemistry, and they, like you're saying, they show high hopes for the season. They show high hopes for the up-and-coming baseball players, and Dylan Jordan specifically, who has been a star, stud for the sophomores, showing up for the varsity. And he's definitely going to be the face of Wetumpka baseball to come up. But the seniors they're developing their baseball team as they go. That is like one of the most chemistry-bound sports in Wetumpka right now. So props to the baseball team for keeping their guys together.
Absolutely. Like you were saying, chemistry-bound. If you see one baseball player here at Wetumpka, you see all of them. They always stay together, and that's actually something good that you want to see. Sometimes there's teams out there that aren't really well with each other, maybe they're not friends, and sometimes that's okay, but you want to be friends with your teammates, because if you're talking to each other in the hall while you're at school or just outside of school in general, that gives you a base for the field, and that's something that I love to see. But apart from that, as you said earlier about Dylan Jordan, I think we should welcome him onto the show. He's our special guest this week, so please everyone welcome special guest varsity baseball player Dylan Jordan.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
All right, so first and foremost, I want to ask you, how do you think this baseball season has gone so far? I know y'all are definitely doing well with a 13-6 record, so positive there. And how are you feeling about this Stanhope game coming up in the next couple of weeks?
I think we're going to be ready. I mean, with an older team like we got, pretty much, I think it's like 12 seniors on our team right now. We're going to win.
Yeah, and with those 12 seniors, how have they developed you with your time at Wetumpka?
I mean, they're very mature. They teach me how to be a great player. So I think it's really good to have them on the team.
Absolutely. Now, with those 12 seniors graduating this year, how do you think your team is going to develop and outgrow having to work with them? With all these players coming up, do you think y'all are still going to be the great team y'all are next year?
Oh, yeah. The JV team is really solid. I think they could probably beat some varsity teams we've played already. I mean, just with the seniors and stuff, teaching them how to play, it's really helped.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you very much for coming on. It was great to get a bit of an insight on what goes down on the field. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And once again, special thank you to varsity baseball player Dylan Jordan. Really well said by him, and I'm just very happy that we get to have all these players from different teams come on and give us a bit of an insight from what goes down on the field, the court, etc. It's really nice to have that, Deacon. But apart from that, let's go take a look at our limited segment here on Tip of the Spear, and that's going to be our March Madness segment. If you don't watch it at home, you're missing out on life, because March Madness is definitely something that everyone should watch at least once. But so far, we are at the Final Four. After spring break, all of these games have been played. Now, I got to tell you, with my upset team, I don't really want to talk about that. The Long Island Sharks losing was not something I had going on, but I'm glad I didn't put that in my bracket. How's your bracket looking, Deacon?
It's looking pretty good. Not to brag, but 127,000 rank on ESPN. But still, some crazy games have been played in this March Madness segment. Throughout the whole entire month of March, it's been absurd. High Point beat Wisconsin. Siena came so close to pulling the third ever 16-1 seed upset on Duke. Just sadly got their players tired out. But I want to talk about an actual Cinderella run. I want to talk about the Iowa Hawkeyes, who beat a #1 seed in Florida, made it all the way to the Elite Eight, and sadly lost to Illinois. But, huge congrats to that team. Had a great run, along with Texas. Number 11 Texas fell short in the end in the Sweet 16, but still, as an 11 seed, had to go through the play-in, had to play their way into the tournament. Still did a great job in making it in.
Absolutely. And Deacon, I got to tell you, I know being a Florida fan, it's a little upsetting there, but I had Iowa beating them in my bracket. I actually had Iowa going to the Elite Eight and losing to Illinois. So I'm not going to complain about that, but I will tell you, don't vote for University. Is it Florida State or South Florida? Don't pick them to win, because I did that, and that ruined my bracket. Louisville, after losing to Creighton last year, I was just like, they're not going to win this year. But, hey, they exceeded my expectations and crushed my bracket. But this has been a March for sure. The Cinderella team, Iowa, that's a beauty. You always want to see a Cinderella team like that. And one team I would like to look at is going to be UConn. Now, UConn has been a name in March in college basketball for years and years, you know, with their championship runs and just runs in the tournament in general. They're a great team. But how about that game winner against number 1 seed Duke? After almost losing to 16 seed Siena, I honestly thought Duke was going to lose in the round of 32. But once again, they exceeded my expectations and made it all the way to the Elite Eight.
Yes.
And with that buzzer beater from UConn, that's a story to tell. A true freshman right there, because being a freshman and just deciding to hit that three is something that I don't think anyone can ever forget.
Man, that's a crazy scenario right there. You beat the 1 seed and just came out of high school, fresh off the buzzer beater. That's insane. I can't even fathom that right now. But like you were saying, Duke, I thought they were going to lose in the round of 32. Absolutely thwomped TCU. And then I was like, oh, crap, they're going to go on a run, go to the Final Four, whatnot. But UConn absolutely stopped it in their tracks. And looking at the Final Four right now, we have Illinois, UConn, Michigan, and Arizona. Now, Michigan is a powerhouse on offense and defense. No game has been so close, but the real question, the real speculation is, have they even played anyone? I mean, their side of the bracket was pretty simple, but they're just a powerhouse, so it's hard to see if they even have, faced actual competition, but we'll see that when they face Arizona in the Final Four.
Absolutely. Now, I want to know, who do you have winning it all? I want to hear from against Illinois and UConn and Arizona and Michigan to your championship game, because no way we can get that wrong, right? It's only it's only 4 games, 3 games? 3 games, yeah. It's only 3 games, so no way we can get that wrong, right?
Well, I mean, when you look at Illinois' offense, you're automatically going to think that they would be the sharpshooting team that everybody picks for March Madness. However, on the defensive side, not that good. So I wouldn't really trust them with that. So for me, I got Arizona winning it all in the chip.
Against UConn?
Yes, against UConn.
I got to tell you, Deacon, I think it's going to be another UConn win this year. I think UConn's going to beat Illinois. I think Michigan is going to beat Arizona. And I think UConn is going to win it all. Now, that is not what I had going on in my bracket at all. Between us, I had Michigan State and Wisconsin battling it out in the championship. So, not the best bracket, but I think this has been a pretty fun March, you know. March Madness is definitely something I look forward to every year, making the brackets and whatnot. But I think that is a great way to end this episode of Tip of the Spear. So I thank you all for watching this episode of Tip of the Spear. Varsity Boys Soccer actually plays Stanhope this Friday, so show out to that game. No hope, Stanhope. But as always, once again, thank you all for watching this episode of Tip of the Spear. If you want to find us on Instagram, look up we2_spear25. But if not, you're already watching us on YouTube. So thank you all for watching, and as always, win the moment, Wetumpka.